Good evening, welcome back to the Hearthstone Half Hour. I'm Hammy, this is Philcroft Casts. Hope you're well and good. For those of you who have missed us for a week or so, we'll be on YouTube or on Twitch. We've been at Gamescom doing the day job. It was very exciting. We got ourselves a Hearthstone lanyard when I visited the Blizzard stand, but predominantly did the day job, which was all well and good. Very busy over there if you're working the show in some form or another. Pretty much 8 in the morning till 8 to 9, gone in the evening, and then work to do after that. The day job just not stopped just because you were at a convention or at a show. So it was all well and good. Very exciting. We'll talk about that another time. It is New Player Monday. We are back and we're taking a look at our little deck guide intros, run-throughs for beginners, where we introduce to you, if you're a bit newer to the game, or if you maybe just want to take a look at new decks or get yourself back up to date, decks that we've seen that seem to be prevalent at a particular time. Now remember that metagame, or the state of what decks are popular or are played at any given time, changes and shifts so quickly. So this is a good guide to this type of deck. It's a good introduction. It will let you go and play it yourself. It may or may be not the kind of deck that will help you at any particular time. So we are looking at scientific, crazy science, and it's a deck by none other than Reynad. Now Reynad had some fun and he thought, you know what, in Naxxramas, and this is a cool thing, whenever there are new card expansions, there are cards coming out that people can then start playing with and juggling around to make new decks and new deck combos. So let's take a look at the Scientific Hunter, or indeed the OP Hunter Mad Scientist deck. So this was built not less than 3-4 days ago, and as things will happen when a deck is popular on stream, you'll see it everywhere for a while and then suddenly it'll disappear. So this may already be out of date, but it's interesting to take a look at. Now this is a mid-range hunter. What is meant by mid-range? It means that it's not a rush in the early game, it's not a late game or control deck that tries to keep everything in control to the late game when you throw out big minions. Instead it sort of gets most of its strength out, as the mid-range name would suggest, in the middle game. How does that work? Well, it looks at one thing and one thing mainly. And let's go and take a look at the new scientist. This is the Mad Scientist. Now, the Death Rattle pulls a secret from your deck into the battlefield. So when he dies, you get a free secret played. So what is that? In its broadest form, it's deck acceleration. It will let you get your secrets out more quickly and better than anything else for free. Or not quite free, but considering that most of your secrets in your Hunter are 2 mana, you're going to be suiciding this or getting it killed. Unless it's silenced, you then get a free secret into play. So getting those secrets into play sooner will help you with other things more quickly. So basically you can really help with Explosive Trap in this deck, and you can really grab freezings and things like that. So what this will do is let you, as a Hunter, combat several of the things that might cause you as a mid-range Hunter certainly problems. And a lot of this will revolve around the way that you play the traps in the right order or not, in terms of the way that the traps trigger. So we're going to have Explosive and Freezing Trap in this deck, and we'll show you how that works. So let's build it like a mid-range Hunter would. First we're going to throw in the 2 scientists because they're kind of quite key, but it would probably help if I actually built a deck to start with. Let's go and jump in. Let's grab a Rexar. I'm going to call this Scientific Hunt. So let's throw in the scientists, and we'll come back to those later. Now, first up, we're going to go for none other than, just going back into the Hunter cards, we're going to grab a couple of Hunter's Mark. Changing minions' health to 1 will help us against any of the big, bad, nasty matchups. Just being able to grab that card out, pick any opposing minion that's got huge health and pain, and then come back to just tap that away. So Hunter's Mark in like Flynn. Number 2, Flare. So losing stealth. Be surprised at how many sort of aggro-y things are using sort of Worgens and similar. If you're going to be, for some reason, playing against a Miracle Rogue and need to get through that conceal, removing stealth is situational but handy. Destroying all secrets in mirror matches, very important. And with the new Paladin and Mage secrets from Naxxramas, also you will see, I think, a few more secrets kicking around. So Secret Destruction is not bad, and then last but not least, hey, 1 mana for drawing a card. That is very good in itself too. So the more you can do there, the more handy it will be. But of course, 1 mana for any of those things could be useful, could make the game or break the game for you as well. Next up, we then have, last but not least, a tracking. So tracking helps us with the acceleration. You can sort of tweak out trackings, you can remove them. It depends on what kind of metagame you're playing against. But tracking is the bread and butter deck acceleration of a hunter as well. It will let you get rid of what you don't want. Sometimes it might force you to bin a useful card, but then you can grab what you do need. You can thin out your deck and make sure that you're hopefully grabbing more of what you want more quickly. So tracking accelerates you nicely. And next we have the none other than Web Spinner, a new Naxxramas card, and adding a random beast to your hand is never generally a bad thing. You can pick some random bad beasts. Remember that a beast is of course any beast available in the game, not just ones you own, not just ones in your deck. And it cannot be any summoned beast token. So let's say a hyena summoned from the death of a wild mane, or something similar like that. Savannah Highmane. So Web Spinner, throw down turn 1. It's probably going to throw you something on balance that you'll be able to use in some form or another. Next up we have one explosive, and then we're going to go with a couple of freezings. So these are the traps that will be flourishing and being enjoyable off of other bits and bobs. So explosive is good against zoo, because of course you're going to be strafing out all of those low health minions, or indeed anything aggro with low health. So that is what the explosive is for. And then freezing helps you out if you're playing against anything mid-range or large, anything that's big or nasty. So you need to make sure that you have freezings out at the right time, that they trigger at the right time. So you always kind of want explosive to trigger first. Explosive will do the damage, and then if it's still a big minion, then freezing will send it back to the hand, but at least explosive will have done the damage if you've got those two down at the same time. So playing those in the right order is quite important. Reynad himself swapped out explosives for a couple of snake traps. If you're playing less zoo, then explosive is not so useful, but if you're playing more of other decks, then grabbing all the snakes with the hunter is actually quite handy. How? We can show you. We can absolutely show you. Okay, so next up what do we have? We have some starving buzzards. No massive surprise here. Hunter fans or not, a core hunter combination is 2 starving buzzards, and I may as well grab them while we're here. Not the Argent Squire, that is not what I was looking for. And other than Unleash the Doge. So, Unleash the Hounds. If my opponent has a lot of minions on the table, I can summon a 1/1 hand with charge for each enemy minion. I've got a buzzard on the table. Whenever I summon a beast, I draw a card. And of course, don't forget that Starving Buzzard can go well with Snake Trap. When Snake Trap is activated, you summon 3 beasts, 3 snakes. If you've got a buzzard on the table, you draw 3 cards. And even if the buzzard is then killed afterwards, it is at the moment that your minion is attacked, so you'll get 3 cards before the buzzard dies. Not such a bad combo, I think you'll find. Good fun. Next up, a couple of animal companions. Summoning beasts might give us tanks, might give us buffs, will trigger the buzzard for us to draw cards. All well and good there. And you're finding here that we're actually grabbing some more standard, there were such a thing as standard mid-range hunter cards. The Eagle Horn Bow, we're playing secrets, and the secrets are revealed, we're gaining durability and using that weapon. The Eagle Horn Bow is very, very good for picking off minions and ensuring that you use that to keep control of your opponent's side of the board. Next up we have just the 1 kill command. The Execute of the Hunter World. Deal 3 if you've got a beast, deal 5. That can be to minions, it can be to the enemy hero. Either way, you can jump in and use it in a very useful way, picking off nasty minions, no problem. We've got a couple of Unleash the Hounds, 2 Houndmasters coming in. Now these, the Houndmaster, and then also I'm going to grab 2 of Savannah Highmane. These are classic mid-range hunter cards. You're not rushing with these. Giving the beast 2/2 and Taunt is setting you up to get into that mid-game, into the late game. And then the Savannah Highmane again, getting this down turn 6. Death Rattle summoning 2 of those. Maybe you then get to buff it with a Houndmaster or not. This 4 mana and 6 mana, 2 very, very strong drops in the mid-game, will help you, providing you have those in the mid-game, push forward an advantage and get your opponent to the point of death. Mid to mid-late game. We're talking sort of from 4 to 6 or 7 mana. You're wanting to be cementing your advantage and getting yourself in a position to win. So that is most of those. What do we grab elsewhere? Well, we're actually grabbing some more Nax cards. The Haunted Creeper, that's a beast. It will benefit from your other beast effects. It will cause your buzzards to draw cards. And when it dies, you get 2 Spectral Spiders off the back of it. Never bad. We've got the 2 Mad Scientists, pulling out our secrets early and helping us protect ourselves earlier down. So that's nice and easy. Now for our last two, we've got a Leroy as a finisher. No big subtlety to Leroy. When we're getting in within execute range, he goes down, he smashes the opponent to the face, and hopefully we're in a position to win. And then we've seen this chap popping up in a few decks. Lower Theb, you get him for free if you complete the Plague Quarter. What does he do? Well, he gives you some nice protection against nasty things such as Miracle Rogues, and other bits and bobs. You know, you've got a hunter who's going to be throwing at you, hey, throw down Lower Theb, then suddenly that mage or that hunter, anyone who's going to be throwing spells at you, is going to wait and think a while. Paladin about to Divine Favour, or is he about to Avenging Wrath? You can prevent him from playing that card for one turn, so there's a bit of anticipation involved with young Lower Theb. Lower Theb indeed. Do you know when the big spell or the big spell is likely to be coming? Do you know when the big combo is likely to be coming? A Miracle Rogue, for example, he might be throwing out all kinds of things as soon as he throws down a Gadgets and Auctioneer. And Conceals, he might be waiting to play all of his cards next go. In which case, throwing down a Lower Theb will suddenly slow him for another go. Is he about to try and do his miracle combo at the end of the game? Does he have 3 cards left? Throwing down a Lower Theb, guaranteed that you're going to mess up his plans for at least one turn, and that might be the difference between victory and defeat. So let's review what we have in this Reynad Scientific Hunter. We are aiming to use the Mad Scientists comboed along with a standard-ish mid-range Hunter to ensure that we can get a really tight-iron grasp on the early to mid-game, and then with our mid-game Hunter-style cards such as Savannah Highmane and Houndmaster, push in for the kill. Now there are tweaks and similar things that you could make to this deck depending on the metagame in which you're playing. Because we're fairly low in the ladder, we're just going to run this version for a few games with you and see how it goes. If we were playing less Zoolox, we might, or aggro decks, we might try and consider the Snake Trap. That's a very sensible, smart substitution by Reynad there. Okay, step 1 of our New Player Monday. We have taken a deck idea we've seen bouncing around. Next, we're just going to throw it straight into the ladder, play 2 or 3 games, and see how it fares. So, hey, first we've got one of the decks that we should actually, in theory, be really, really good against. If this is going to be a zoo, then we need to work out how to play it. Floet Obring, Zano, welcome to you all. It's great to have you with us, and you folks who aren't even signed in, it's good to have you with us too. So what do we want for kind of like a first round option? This is all looking pretty solid. Against a zoo, I would quite like a Mad Scientist to pull out one of my traps, if he's going to be a zoo. I've got an Eagle Horn base, so I've got to drop every single turn. I can accelerate into a bow if I need to, but what I would really like is that Mad Scientist to help me pull out those secrets, especially if he's going to be zooing it. If he's going to be handlocking it, for example, then again I would still like that, because that would be really nice, so we can pull out. I'm going to pull for the secret just in case. So I've got a Buzzard, a Scientist and a Companion. I don't know what he's going to be playing. I don't like giving the Buzzard away, but I'm going to grab the Scientist, because through grabbing that Scientist, hopefully I can get one of my secrets out next turn, so I can get the Scientist down turn 2, and we will very quickly see if he's a handlock and he's going to be playing big minions early in the game, then I can grab a Freezing. I still don't know what he's going to be at this stage, so I can sacrifice him. I can Haunted Spider for my Death Rattle. He will be doing 1 to everything. I'm going to drop the Scientist into play, and then I'm going to offer him the trade, and I grab L. Of all things, I grab a Buzzard. So I threw one away, but I skipped one straight back up. So enjoying that. Now, obviously, if he dies, unless he's been silenced, I've still not seen anything from this Warlock so far as to show which way he's tipping his hand. Is he going to be zoo-locking early game? Is he going to be hand-locking in the late game? There are some weird mid-range Warlocks popping up now. Live tap. A cheeky little tap to the face with the Ghoul, so he's leaving that up. Okay, I've got a Freezing. So I would like to grab the Explosive. So play order here is quite important. So if I'm going to try and play them both, I want to play Explosive first. If I'm going to suicide, if I've got a trap and I want to suicide and play it, if I've got explosive, play it first, and if I've got freezing, I should suicide it second. So I'm going to do this. There you go, there's the explosion, and then that should hopefully pull... Oh, it's pulled a freezing. Okay, that's a little bit frustrating. So I don't have an explosive and freezing combo, but that will actually hopefully slow him down a little bit. Okay, so what can I do? I do not have a animal companion. I could not be doing anything else, so I'm going to throw down the haunted creeper. Another option could have been to throw down the buzzard, but he would most likely gun for that with whatever he has in hand. There goes the Drake. So it looks as though he's hand locking. We've not seen any massive rush. We've seen cards like Drake. So what does that mean? My freezing trap is a solid and excellent place. That will absolutely slow it down very, very much if he decides to attack my hero. With that in mind, I'm not actually going to go for that in a massive attacking fashion. I've got a buzzard into hounds combo if I want to draw cards. I think I'm actually going to throw down an eagle horn bow because that will get the additional power, and I'm just going to fly away and tap him in the face. So he knows that I'm not trying to... He's probably... I would imagine, unless he's going to test my secret, he probably knows that at the moment this is not an explosive trap. I've got my other freezing in hand. I'm expecting that with a full hand of cards... There goes the Sludge Belcher. Interesting. This is looking more of a mid-range warlock of some description. But it's certainly not a zoo. So for that way, I need to make sure that I'm dealing with it. I can handle it, and with that the kill command will get me through there. There you go, an animal companion. A buzzard into hounds would give me some draw power, but a kill command will get me past this. So I don't actually need the draw right now. What I would quite fancy is kill commanding. So let's get that off the table. In that comes... Now this is quite a decent way to reach out. I can then use that to do some bidding. The buzzard, well, if he then attacks an enemy minion attacks period, I can throw him the temptation of the buzzard, but he may well take it, so I'd probably rather buzzard and hounds on the same turn. So I'm just going to start tapping him in the face. There you go, there's the freezing trap, return to hand. So he's not playing that, but I'm sure he can throw down something similar like a giant. There goes the loot hoarder. Baron Rivendare, so maybe he has a death rattle deck, very interesting. Okay, so if I can grab two of those down, your minions trigger their death rattles twice. So what can I do? I can hounds for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't have quite the execute on that I would like, but I certainly get a huge handful of cards. So I'm up for that. There we go. Give me some card draw. Show me the money. So he'll get 2 cards of draw from that loot hoarder, unless I can take him out. But then if I cannot quite kill him in one go, which is a shame. Was there a combo with which I could have killed him in one go? Possibly. Possibly. We have Simba. If you want to start getting your Lion King themes out, now's the time to do so. Rivendare I could just not quite take, which is a bit of a shame. So I'm actually going to, by hook or by crook, drop all of that down. Now with a hand lock he's probably going to buff up these, tank some of them. There we go. Sacrificed, and then of course the death rattle triggers twice, so he draws 2. A nice example of Rivendare there. Down goes the Drake. I need to have my explosive and my freezing ready. Mortal Coil will let him draw also. And Soulfire, no, he's going to go for the tap and removal. Okay, so I now have just about enough, I think, with a +2, that's 3, 6. Oh, I'm just short once more. Alas, alack. Okay, so a Houndmaster will help to a point, but I'm not quite going to be able to remove that. Let's see what I can conjure up here. If I get the attack damage, then this will be worth the gamble. Oh, a charging Huffer, that was certainly worth the gamble. Okie dokie, so we then have the option of Houndmastering, 2/2 taunt. So that's certainly worth it. Now what that's going to let us do is just pop that out of the way. We'll get removed of that. And I could swing in for some more damage, but I'm not going to quite yet. So this deck, you've got some utility as a mid-range hunter does. You can see that the buffing's been going on. I've still got my 2 traps. Questing Adventurer goes down. I do lack silence. The weapon destroyed with ooze. Alas. Traitorous ooze. Fighting against us in our hour of need. Okay, so we've got Leroy as a finishing option, but what I can now do is start causing absolute carnage with my traps, which is what I want to look to do. So in this sense, I need to play Explosive first, and then I need to play Freezing. Then they'll trigger in that order. My opponent will probably know that too, so let's grab a Mad Scientist down as well. Let's fire him in the face. And then last but not least, we want to be removing anything nasty. So I'm going to go a straight trade so that Adventurer doesn't get too big and nasty. And then if I tap one thing in the face, well, I know that Explosive will do 2 damage to all enemies, so that will wipe all of that. If I tap that down, then I've teed it up nicely for Explosive. So play order. There goes the Dark Scale. And a full heal on means that I'm not going to be getting rid of that Twilight Drake after all. Quite frustrating. Okie dokie, we have a bit of freezing trapping going on, but naturally he triggered... Oh, hang on. Those are triggered in the wrong order. Explosive did not trigger, but he played that pretty well. So why? I thought Explosive would have triggered first. How frustrating. There we go. Explosive should have gone first. How frustrating. It's going to be Simba time. Okay, remember who you are. Now there was an option there where I could have tapped a 2 for the face and then had a 6 Leroy, 6 Execute next go. I think really I should have gone for that. I still do have the Execute if he doesn't kill the Savannah Highmane and doesn't put a tank up, but he's a handlock, so I'm fully expecting a Sun Fury Protector or something similar in a second. Something to cause nasty tankiness that will mean I have to bust through all of those. Okay, with Science we can see the Alchemist coming in and spawning the Arabian. However, I do have a, unless he plays a tank, which he does not. There we go. So we have a win. And that is Leroy Jenkins. Boom. There we go. And there's our victory combo. Lovely stuff. So there we go, we got to turn 10. But by that time we'd got ourselves a nice easy victory. Or relatively easy, I'm not going to say easy. Ooh, another Timberwolf. Another golden Timberwolf nonetheless. The sound of a million headphones being through down. It sounds though you're saying the line from Star Wars. It's like as if a million voices suddenly cried out. Cool, so we've seen a little bit there, game 1, as to how that deck can kind of work reasonably against a mid-range to sort of like later range deck, and that's really what mid-range has struggled a little bit with. Being able to pull and manipulate those secrets, it did not quite work on that turn, but I need to work it out, because I did play Explosive Trap first and then Freezing, so I thought Freezing Explosive would trigger first. Anyway, we've got another Warlock. I would like traps, so I'm going to throw all of those back. I'm going second, remember, I've got the coin, so I can afford to mulligan pretty hard. And I got a Mad Scientist, so that will get me a trap of some description or another. I may just even coin straight into the Mad Scientist and go crazy. This time we have a Zoo, so we're seeing all different ranges of decks, even if 2 of them are Warlocks. Okay, why do you call? This is why I call. I love it when you call, but you never call at all, Mr. Voidwalker. The sound of a million voices crying out. Sound of a million Voidwalkers wondering why no one calls. Why do you call? Okay, so we're being zooed fairly typically. If I suicide this chap, then I will get a secret. Hopefully it would be an explosive or similar. I'm going to tracking straight up. Let's see if we can grab an explosive. We do not really fancy either of those. Hey, another mad scientist could be fun. Let's pop that down and let's start charging away. Try and make sure we silence this guy before we get this guy knocked out, before he gets silenced. So I'm wanting to fish hard. Ooh, and a ruby and egg would of course spawn and pop. There we go. Popping them in the right order. What's going on there? The web spinner, of course, giving me the card. There you go. I'm getting confused. So we then have the freezing trap in place. That's not going to be ideal against a zoo. So it's, of course, when a minion attacks, period. A little bit frustrating. So dropping the weapon. That's not going to be attacking me. So if I remove this, then at least that can sit there for a while. Next turn, well, I can Animal Companion, I can Ironfur Grizzly. I'll probably go for an Animal Companion. Haunted. Crusade, that will be going back with a freezing trap next turn. We can be quite happy with that. A Mad Scientist could go for an explosive, but of course an explosive will trigger the Nerubian. We don't really want the Nerubian in our lives too much. Let's go for a random Animal Companion. And we get Misha. Fantastic. Do like a bit of Misha. 4/4 Bear for 3 mana with Taunt. I absolutely love it. Freezing Trap, there we go. Back to hand. And if it wants to throw that down, that can cost many more manas. Okay, Kill Command, that will let us remove the DID. The Dark Iron Dwarfy. And Mad Scientist will certainly let us fish up another secret of some kind. We don't actually really want an explosive trap because of this Nerubian egg, so I'm quite happy to just be pushing that away. And I'm going to tap for once. I'm going to leave 1 durability on this. That means that if a, I don't know, Traitorous Ooze or something drops, then at least I've managed to get some use out of it. And also, if we grab another secret, which I'm sure we will, then, ooh, we went for the different Scarlet Crusader, but there you go, the Blood Bubble with the Blood Knight has busted. So, this is where Freezing Trap is going to be fabulous. I can throw down a Freezing. When a minion attacks, he'll probably attack with his cheaper minion, so this is where I hunt alone and remove that. Now, I then can then throw down a Freezing. I can then throw down an Ironfur Grizzly as another tank, and then I'm just going to keep attacking. So, keeping this charge on by removing that 1 minion and taking the damage on myself. If he's going to attack this turn, unless he has a minion with charge, or she has a minion with charge, she'll attack with the Blood Knight. Interesting, okay. That will be returned to hand and costs more now with the Freezing Trap. That does mean that at least he gets the attack value, but I'm quite happy still with that going back to hand, because even if he charges him with the Blood Knight, I can still get it removed, and that's a big threat off the table. Unleash the Doge. Blood Bubble does sound pretty awful, doesn't it? It does sound awful. He becomes a mighty, mighty powerful card. That Blood Bubble kind of deck. Removing the bubbles. Okay, so Lothar, but I don't think there's any real need for Lothar at this stage. We could just get nasty. Let's get nasty with Unleash the Hounds. We can Mad Scientist and ping away, and we can just be like, so, I hear you like spiders with your spiders. So I'm just going to take the big threat out, and then I'm just going to charge on and pretty much threaten the victory. So he's going to need to trade as much as possible. I will be almost able to reach out and win. If I grab the Leroy or a weapon or something, it will be guaranteed. But we now have enough pressure. Okay, Void Terror sacrifices, gains attack and health, so that gives him a 5/6, I do believe, if my maths is quick and correct. Certainly does. And then nice little combo there, spawns all his own spiders as well. And so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we do just have enough to win. There we go. So, with the con bonus, we win by turn 8. Fabulous. Ka-ching ping. And there we go. A little win streaky bonus story to number 15. Rank of the 15th nonetheless. Ooh, and some more gold for our arena. Fabulous stuff. Shall we get just one more game in? Let's get just one more game in. We'll sneak one more. Rexar versus Gul'dan. A third warlock in a... Okie dokie, so we have another warlock, we don't know what it's going to be, so this is a perfect testing. Tracking, that will certainly let us scrape through the deck. I'm going to throw back those 2 more expensive cards, and then we get another tracking and a buzzard. Okay, so not great having 2 tracking, but at least we can thin out our deck some, and of course this time we're going second, so I would like a trap or a mad scientist. I get neither. So I just don't know. I know I've got 2 Hunter's Mark, I can sacrifice one of those. I've got a high main for the late game. I'm going to grab a kill command for the control factor. Not ideal, sadly. Okay, so we're very much playing a zoo. That much is certain. I would like to start training against these. So, do you know what? As much as I'd like to tracking, I think that a spectral haunted spectral creeper isn't a bad play, because if he sacrifices it, I get 2. I'll be able to remove something. But we're going to take an imp to the face. Never a place that you want an imp at any point of the day. And we can also, of course, kill command next turn because we've got a beast on the table. So we have tradability in spades. Kill command. Sad that I'm going to be using up all the mana. I'm just thinking, is there an alternative play I could tracking into a mad scientist or something similar? But I take another blow to the face. So I'm going to reach out and remove that to start with, and then I'm going to tap this down Juan, meaning that I then get my 2 spiders. So how was Gamescom? A few people have been asking when we play. Well, Gamescom was brilliant fun. It was kind of a 8 AM to like PM job. Strangely enough, not as much time to go and look at games as you would have thought. I did manage to have a dash around on the last day. The day job took precedence, but it was good. It was good and it looked awesome, and I've got photos and some swag. I might have a Riot League of Legends skin to give away, and some little Blizzard bits and bobs as well, all kinds of coolness. So stay tuned for a blog, or I might do a little video on Gamescom, just a little summary of everything. Righty then, so let us go for we could Mad Scientist, Starving Buzzard and draw a card, but that will just mean he kills the Buzzard. I think dropping a Mad Scientist and a Haunted Creeper give me the capacity to start getting ready to remove some of these bubbles and similar, so I can start trading this away. I just want to get the table under control. I want to try and pull myself an explosive with a Mad Scientist, and I've still got a tracking. Next turn I can always fish for a trap. Oh, and with a shield for Argus, we now have a zoo reinforced with Defender of Argus. More tanks, more nastiness. You can see that I've already been zooed down to a 16 health, so I need to re-establish some tabular control. So I'm going to... here I really need a trap, so I'm going to fish for the trap. I grab the freezing trap. I then need to sacrifice to see if I can grab the explosive. Oh, I got another freezing trap, so I can't double freezing, which is a little bit frustrating. But I can either buzzard or I can simply Beast Companion. I hope this is a Misha. Oh, we got a Leok. Okay, so not quite what I was going for, but at least that means I can do a couple of damage. I'll then grab another couple of those, and hey, I'm just going to return something to hand. So that'll at least slow him down 1. But I need to start getting tanks up. I need to start getting Houndmasters up. I need to get through his wall and really keep these minions under some hard control. Void Terror, of course, he sacrifices. That will then mean that he gets 2 spiders back, and then 1 pretty chunky nasty minion. There we go, a 7/7 hidden by a 1/3 tank. It's going to be hard for me to take out, but I still have the freezing, so I need to make sure that I play in the right order to make this work. Now, right order. I cannot double freezing. Starving Buzzard is not going to do anything apart from draw cards. Lower Theb would slow him down. The Savannah High Main will give me maximum chunk utility in case, but he's going to attack first with one of those and then attack with this afterwards. This I know. So how can we crack through? Well, we can crack through by tapping that with 1, removing that with another. Now sadly we can't get rid of all the spiders, which is a little bit frustrating, but I'm pretty sure that what he'll do is, if he has a good play order, he'll play first with the spider to trigger this trap, and then he'll play with the Void Terror. If he attacks me directly with the Void Terror, he's not thinking about, or she's not thinking about what kind of traps are coming. Nerubian Egg needs some attack on that, but then he can get the 4/4 Nerubian out of it. Correct play order, yep, he's gone for the correct play order. There goes the freezing trap, meaning that he can attack me for a full nasty 7. Ouch. So I can knock that Void Terror off the table next go, but I need tanks, and I need them fast. Oh, double Void Terror, and that is of course going to not only pop the Nerubian, nice little combo there. You see it's seeing an increasing amount of this, but also you're going to have a 10/12er, which is nasty. Okay, oh, how about that for a life-saving top deck? I like, is nice. Okay, so in terms of plays, I can sacrifice this, meaning that I summon the 2 hyenas. So, in fact, I'm just going to sacrifice the Leok. That will then play that there nicely, so I can then Lotheb and Freezing Trap, just in case he has anything that charges. Now, Lotheb, why am I playing that down? Well, the enemy spells costing 5 more next turn will certainly slow him down if he's got something nasty. But really, I just want that 5/5 body on the table. And there goes Rivendare. Lots of people playing at Rivendare, so that will summon 4 spiders, unless I knock this out. So I'm actually going to Buzzard. Now, why am I going for this? Well, I don't want it to spawn twice. But then, note that summoning those 2 hyenas will give me a double benefit there on the Unleash the Hounds. Lovely. So then I can drop an Eagle Horn, I can drop a Web Spinner, I can then what is the best order for this? Well, to take the least of damages. It makes no difference either way really, so I'll drop that and then get, ooh, too many spiders. Oh dear, that was a massive fail. I was going to kill Rivendare first. I've just totally shot myself in the foot. Oh dear. Well, what did we learn? I knew that I was going to play. The whole point of killing Rivendare is to stop the double death rattle, and yet we have managed to. Okay, so right, how can he do this? Well, if he's got an execute play, the Doomguard, he actually has the execute play. I think he can do 8. Yeah, he can do 8. I've messed that up. That's a great example of how you can just mess everything wrong. Oh dear. Okay, well there you go. 2 less spiders and I would have lived 1 more turn. Oh! I knew what I wanted to do, but I kind of misordered epically there. Oh well, hey, we won twice in a row. It would have been unusual if we had managed to win 3. So, on that epic failure, it was all going too well. That's how not to play this card or this deck in order. But thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's Hearthstone Half Hour. What we've done is show you a little bit of how this deck can work and a little bit of how absolutely not to play in the wrong order whatsoever. Oh, if I'd killed Rivendare first. That would have been a brilliant... I would have lived 1 more go, certainly. I mean, he would have dropped the Doomguard, I would have probably done some trades. I may not have won, but I would have certainly not have lost in that epic way. So there you go. There is Reynad's, none other, sort of what it's called. What's it been called? It's been called OP Hunter and Mad Scientist. It's worth taking a look. I'm going to share the deck list in chat on the live stream, but I'm also going to put it in the description. So thank you so much for tuning in. We took a look at a deck we've seen a little bit of on the ladder that's been popular in the last few days. We've then just taken it apart in a real simplistic for slightly simple deck way for beginners, and then we jumped into a few games and saw how it can work well and how if you play in a bad order you can just mess it up quite chronically, and that's what I did there. But if you are watching this on YouTube, please do come and join us. Have a look on the left column, twitch.tv/FellcroftCast. We go live Monday through Friday night, and if you look in the bottom left you can also see the schedule on the left bar. And you can also look at youtube.com/FellcroftCasts for more vidage of this kind. More New Player Mondays, more deck guides, more Curse of Naxxramas playthroughs, and similar stuff. Hey Moldy! You can also find us on Twitter, at FellcroftCast. Come have a chat with us there. We also try and do some lunchtime streams at UK time. So work it out, it's sort of a few hours behind for the US, a few hours ahead depending on where you are, where else in the world, but we'll always tweet on at FellcroftCasts when we are we will absolutely tweet before we're going to go live. And then last but not least, website fellcroft.org, videos, blogs, other things that don't live so well perhaps in a video format, so links, new player guides and similar. So if you're live on the live stream, we'll continue chatting a little bit before we finish up. If you're on YouTube, hope to see you again very, very soon. But either way, thanks very much for tuning in wherever you are, and take it easy. Cool. So that's the end of tonight's episode. Yeah, just have a chat. Yeah, Gamescom was great, but it said the day job took most of it. So I did have a little bit of a look around, got to look at a couple of games, but really with Gamescom, I might do a little vid on it, but the main thing with Gamescom is that there is one day that's sort of industry, as it were, or industry and press. So I got in on the Monday evening. I managed to go to the Microsoft and Sony conferences, so that was quite fun, the little presentations, media briefings. And then Wednesday is sort of the press day where we were hard at work, sort of doing the day job. So there you get to go around, there's less queues, there are still queues for everything, but there's less. So as opposed to taking 2.5 hours to get on something, you might take an hour. Unless you've got pre-booked appointments. If you've got pre-booked appointments, there's also a business centre area. So sometimes you can go to, if you've got a pre-booked appointment, you can go to the business centre, and there you can just turn up at a particular time and either play something or see a presentation. But otherwise you can go down the show floor, but on the business day it's about an hour, maybe queue for some things because there's still a lot of people there. When it gets to Thursday and becomes a public day, then it's like the floodgates open and it just becomes madly busy. Like it's people wall to wall. You might have to queue 2.5, maybe 3 hours to try and get on something. So it goes so busy. And by that stage, hopefully you've got all of your stuff done, because if you've not got your stuff done by that point, depending on, of course, what your job is and similar, then it's going to be so hard to just go anywhere and see anything or get anything else done in that regard. But yeah, it was really good. What did I enjoy? Well, it's sort of an entirely me and my opinion, and of course I didn't get to see anything. The new Batman is looking just phenomenal. If you're a fan of Batman, the Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins, all those style games, the new Batman is just looking sweet. So I would really encourage you to have a look at that. Of course, that's out early next year. Microsoft and Sony's indie games, there was some very cool stuff there. Was enjoying a look at those. Yeah, there was a game called The Escapists that I really liked the look of. That was pretty cool. And then there was also some other pretty cool games. Sony-wise, there was a game called The Hungry Horde, PlayStation Vita, and it's kind of like a zombie control madness bit of fun. I can't really describe it, but you control a horde of zombies, and you need to control that horde of zombies and then basically wipe out as much as you can before the government come and drop a nuke on you, as the government do. Damn that government with their nasty planning ways and all those kind of things as well. So we're done for the day, but then we'll be back tomorrow. So yeah, that was Gamescom in a nutshell. Am I still streaming? No, I am still streaming. Okie dokie. Oh, what am I missing? What's going on? Coolness. So yeah, I'll share a couple of vids in a sec. We can let you have a look at some of the cool loot that we managed to grab, and other stuff like that. But awesomeness. So yeah, the trip was good. It was all busy, but yeah, a weird one. And nice to be back. Obviously, nice to be back with my wiser half and seeing how the dog's been getting on, and then getting very, very busy on different bits and bobs. Coolness. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna jump off now, but it's great to see you all, and then hopefully can catch you tomorrow or similar. We will be tomorrow night. We're going to be doing Nax in terms of the Frostworm Lair, so we're going to be having a look at Kel'Thuzad and all that kind of stuff. And for the lunchtime stream tomorrow, we'll either do some Heroes of the Storm, or we'll try and jump into maybe the Construct Quarter Heroics. Now there's 4 of them. They look pretty beastie. So that'll be cool. We'll be nice and busy, and then Wednesday we'll get back into a normal Hearthstone sort of stream pace for the rest of the week. He's a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. Me and my partner have rehomed him from Battersea, and we basically think he's never been outside, or he's been a house dog, a house and small garden dog, maybe a flat dog. So he's awesome, but he just gets very anxious. He barks at cars, he barks at people, he barks when he's in the car, so we can't really leave him on his own, and we can't really take him outside, but we're working on it, and my other half's been sort of really working on getting him a bit more confident outside, so fingers crossed he's going to work out okay. But he's lovely, but he's very tiring at the moment, but very cool. Yeah, they're most awesome. Cool, so we'll get back to our normal-ish schedule for the rest of the week, and we are going for Wednesday, we'll be doing some ladder again. Thursday we will be getting back into maybe a Tactics episode, or maybe do some Heroics as a finish up, and then Friday we're going to be jumping into Pokemon Nuzlocke again, and we're going to be continuing the epic adventure of Jeff. Jeff and his Bob to his friends from a broken home, and continuing her quest. Jeff known as Bob to her friends, I should say, for Jeff is a lady, Jeffina perhaps for short, and continuing that adventure. Now I'm going to stick the first episode up on YouTube, but I know that's been a couple of weeks overdue, I'm so sorry, but if you've not seen it, if you're wondering what the heck we're going about, what Pokemon is, what Nuzlocke is, and what the Pick Your Own Adventure was, then I'll share that on YouTube so you can come have a look. But I'm going to log out now, go and join everyone downstairs. It's been great to have you, and see you.